This is about epigenetics, and just to give you an idea of what epigenetics means, is if you think about a caterpillar and a butterfly, genetically they're the same, but the change that makes one change to another is an epigenetic change. And we're looking at that with brain tumours in this research, because what we've been able to do for the first time is to compare normal, healthy neural cells and diseased glioblastoma initiating cells in a way that means that comparison shows us what's happening, where the mutation is occurring. And if we know that, armed with that, we can look at new therapeutic interventions. We can do something to actually make that change, to either stop that happening, change it whilst it's happening, or also be able to predict what will work and won't work, because the key thing here is the personalized side of it, looking at what has happened within one person, from a healthy cell to a disease cell, and what we can do to stop that progressing or to stop it happening in the future. So it really is great news, and it's very much about funding research that means that we can perhaps now start having progression in this area, brain tumour area, in the way that we've had with maybe breast cancer and leukemia over the past generation.
Beam therapy that they use for certain brain tumours, is that correct? So they can be more targeted without damaging too much of the external brain cell. Won't this then mean that with this you can actually be specific about where the issue is without causing further damage?
100%. I mean, you're absolutely right. This is about a targeted therapy. And I think you were talking earlier about radiotherapy. And you've got to be so precise in this area. Surgery, radiotherapy, any treatment got to be so precise, because the surrounding cells are there for a reason. It's not like perhaps with, say, breast cancer, where you can be radical in your treatment because the surrounding tissue can be brought out and looked at. You can't do that with brain tumours. It's much more a precise world, and that's why we're really thrilled at this. And as I was mentioning, it's not just about what will work, it's what won't work, and about doing something that's tailored to the individual.
I want to come to you, because at just 30 you were diagnosed with a brain tumour. Can you tell us a bit more about your story?
Yeah, so my story started in December last year, and I'd had a series of seizures. I'd had 3, and then in January I finally got sent for a CT and an MRI scan. And obviously, because of the COVID situation, I wasn't allowed anyone with me, so I was on my own. And then the doctor came to see me and asked if I had anyone with me. So obviously, because I work in the NHS as well, I knew that if they asked you if you had anyone with you, that it's not going to be good news. So my husband came and they took us into a side room, and that's when they told me that I had a brain tumour, but they didn't know how bad it was. So I was sent to a hospital nearby in Preston, and the surgeons there advised that I had surgery, because that was the only way they were going to get rid of whatever it was, because they didn't know what it was. So I had that done about 10 days later, and then about a week after, the surgeon rang up and said that I obviously had like this GBM4, which was the worst one that you could get.
So sorry to hear that, but I'm praying that we get some form of sort of treatment that could really help you, and quickly as well. Thank you so much both for joining us and sharing your thoughts, and we hope this research will lead to a really good outcome for patients suffering with brain tumours.